Since release, Heavy Chaos has gone through a lot of changes, and now that it looks like they've got them about where they want them balance-wise, it's time I made an updated guide. Being one of my favorite characters, I want to make it so even if you don't have much experience, you'll be able to learn and play him from the basics up through his most advanced techniques. This video will cover everything I think is essential for playing him on a basic level and will be used for building blocks for the later videos. Let's start with the gun basics. Pressing 5H will pull out the gun and have a reticle pop up in a random location around the opponent which gradually moves towards them. It's RNG where it appears, and if you're grounded there's about a 30% chance it would hit if you shoot immediately, but if you're in the air, that goes down to about 9%. If they're in block stun or hit stun, the shots will never miss. This is very important for combos and mix-ups, giving conversions from everything as long as you have the resources. To put the gun away, press down, down back, or down forward and H. If you hold H before you press down, you won't be able to put it away until you shoot. Since you can't block while the gun is out, it's important to practice putting it away properly. Treat the gun as something separate to the rest of your kit since you can do most things with the gun out or while putting it away. You can use the gun during normals and specials outside of focus, and can't use it during throw or super. But you can OTG after super if you combo them high enough. Reloading with 2-2P is very important, especially since it has low total duration and can be cancelled with pretty much any action as soon as the first bullet is reloaded. Think of the concentration bar as having 1000 meter when it's full, with each shot costing 250. If you run out of concentration and it turns red, if you try to use the gun, you'll be put in an animation for about half a second that leaves you vulnerable. If the gauge turns red, it regens at 240 per second, so just over 4 seconds to get it back. With regular 5.8 shot, it can be kinda hard to see, but the rate of concentration drain just by holding the gun out is higher the further away you are. This becomes more noticeable with steady aim. A big difference with steady aim compared to regular 5H is that once the reticle locks on them, it won't unlock even if they move around. Steady aim does also lock on much faster after startup, though it does have much longer startup overall. But shooting as fast as possible makes it very likely to whiff. Curse is one of his most important tools. It lets him retreat a bit while throwing the curse ball, where on hit it leaves them in a state where aim tracking is much faster. Steady aim shots while cursed will never miss, so it's extremely important for controlling your opponent's movement and a staple for zoning. You can do this during steady aim by just pressing forward and P. It doesn't do any damage and doesn't interact with any other projectiles, it just needs to make contact. It goes away if you get hit, including getting bursted, or after 5 seconds pass. Their main counterplay is to jump over it. If you think they'll preemptively jump, then doing steady aim shot into curse, into another shot, is the best way to force it onto them while pushing them back. Focus is an important tool for managing concentration. It has 46 frames of total duration and has counter hit recovery, so you'll want to have some space before doing it. But once it's finished, you'll gain back 30% concentration and have all concentration costs cut in half for 5 seconds. This makes each shot take up 125 concentration instead of 250, which turns a maximum of 4 shots into easily shooting all 6 and having extra concentration left over. This also makes the concentration of steady aim and having the gun out with 5H go down by half, making zoning more efficient. You want to do this after a 2D knockdown or after a steady aim shot. You can even fit in a curse on top of it. It's also good to do when you wall splat. Setting up a guard crush shot into focus leaves you -10 at best, but generally around -11 or 12, so try your best to cancel this as soon as you can. Scapegoat is probably the most nerfed move he has, to the point where I don't really recommend using it outside of a few situations. It's a retreating move that puts up a wall at the cost of 15% of your current health, with a minimum of 29 HP taken away. Be careful about using this too much, both because of the health loss and the potential for cornering yourself. It lasts 3 seconds, but once you reach 1 HP, it'll spawn a smaller version of itself that only lasts 45 frames. It acting as a wall can be nice, but if they have a move that would reach through the wall and hit you, it will still hit you. This makes characters with long-range moves or lariats difficult to deal with. It can slow them down a little bit, giving you more time to react and recover or punish, but keep in mind some characters have ways of avoiding the wall entirely. It can be useful for creating space and stalling them, but its usefulness will depend heavily on the matchup. The counterplay used to be hit the clone and red RC, but now the distance it sends you is outside of the RC bubble, letting you avoid getting hit even if you go into steady aim. Roll is a multi-use special move starting with the low profile on frame 3. When you roll, the reticle will not be locked on anymore, but it does keep it close to relock quickly, though it won't always be locked on as soon as you can fire. The biggest use of this is for mix-ups, which we'll talk about later. When you're in steady aim, there are easy inputs for special cancels. 6k for Scapegoat, which you'll probably want to cancel into another move or just put the gun away. Do 6p for Curse, 4p for Focus, 4s to cancel steady aim, which is the fastest way to get out of it, 2p for Reload, and 4k for Roll. 2-3 Success is the only special move you can't do from steady aim since the gun is already out. 2-3 Success, also called Gun Flip, is a major combo and pressure tool. It pulls out the gun like 5H but has a hitbox. It'll be a common block string ender. 5P will be your go-to anti-air since it's quick, reliable, and easily combos into 6S for good conversions. 5K is a solid 6-frame poke that low crushes. It's nothing crazy on its own, but pairing it with dash cancels and gunshots makes this very powerful. Get used to doing 5K, then pressing 5H and the dash macro at the same time to negative edge the shot. I find this the easiest way to get the timing down, but make sure to let go of H about halfway through the dash to start pressure or combos. If you whiff, you'll be vulnerable, so be ready to react and put the gun away. If you're holding H, you won't be able to put the gun away until you shoot first, so do your best to be quick on the reaction. And if you're lucky, the RNG might hit them anyways. When you practice this, set the bot to counterattack with a quick button and try to frame trap the shot. You can also just do 5K 2D, then negative edge the 5H shot, try to release the shot so it frame traps too. If they got hit by the frame trap, confirm it into a knockdown and reload or focus. 2K is a very strong normal. It is a bit slower at 7 frames, but has amazing low profile that starts shrinking at frame 3. It's one of the original DLC 2Ks, which has amazing range and low recovery, so it can be used multiple times to control space really well. It's even better when paired with gunshots, giving full combos on hit or plus frames on block. Use it both to defend space and steal some with dashing 2Ks. Same as 5K 2D, 2K 2D into delayed gunshot is very strong. You can even just do 2K right into shot and have more plus frames to work with, letting you fit in strike throw mix-ups. 2S is the main poke that you should be using a lot. It's a disjointed low that covers the mid-range very well and easily leads to knockdowns, at worst with a couple of shots. These shots easily lead into pressure too. You should almost always follow up with a shot when using it, especially since if it connects on hit or block, it will never miss. At worst, you whiff the 2S, but still have a random chance to hit them with the shot. Just try to put the gun away quickly if you whiff. Farslash has been buffed enough to be used occasionally, but it gets overshadowed by 2S. It being 10 frames and disjointed is nice, but the potential to be low profiled can be a problem depending on the matchup. It does make a nice round start option, especially with the nice conversion on counter hit. 6S is the largest normally has, and is much better when used with dash momentum. It has a slight disjoint above the move, which can make it a preemptive anti-air, but never try to use it on reaction since it's too slow. It is fairly slow and can be stuffed out by lows, so keep that in mind. JP is your go-to air-to-air, and it can easily be confirmed into full combos with shots. Happy Chaos's air game is really strong. At a base level, dash jump JS is a solid approach option. But get used to mixing in jumping back, neutral double jumping, and air dashing back before getting into 6P range. Doing this with the gun out is strong since they'll be waiting to 6P by standing still, letting the reticle lock onto them even if you're moving around unpredictably. They may try to react with 6P, but doing any of the air options I mentioned and firing a shot instead of falling into their 6P will counter hit them and let you get a knockdown. They may end up just letting you jump in on them since they're scared of the shot. They can try to air you, but it has to be on a read. The amount of movement options you have, and at any timing you like, makes it unlikely they'll be able to catch you on reaction. Curse is very important and makes this easier, so watch out for big moves covering the ground. The thing is, dash jumping is also a good answer to moves that would catch you trying to zone. Since Happy Chaos has no reversals, you'll need to have good fundamental defense. His super jump air dash out of the corner is very good, but you'll want to FD them out before going for it. Fuzzy jumping into JS is also a nice option. And 2K 2D roll into shot is a nice easy way to steal the corner if you're brave enough to mash out. For round starts, if you want to be aggressive, Farslash is your best bet since it's 10 frames and reaches. If you think they'll be aggressive, slight walk back into 6S will catch most other round starts. Slight walk back into 2S also works well. Dash block delayed 2K is a fairly safe option but can easily make you lose neutral. But it will catch them trying to chase your retreating options. Round start curse is very good since it can immediately set up the first part of your game plan and lets you avoid a lot of round starts. But since it's counter hit recovery, it can easily lead to bad situations. So mix in dash block 2K to catch this. Backdash is a pretty safe option too, with lower risk than curse. Starting out with the standard, close slash is plus, letting you set up basic strike throw. The better way to set up strike throw is by doing 2K while negative edging a 5-8 shot. You can release it after the move connects to be easily over plus 20. Rinse and repeat, giving yourself access to low after low, and at any point you can dash up and throw. Depending on when you release the bullet or how long you dash before 2K'ing again can leave a gap or not. True stringing will catch throw, mashing, and jumping while stopping you from getting hit by DPs or supers, but frame traps will catch them mashing a quick crouching button, so find out what they like to do. And you can do dash up close slash 6K to the success after 2K into shot for more corner carry, risk build, and more options. If the gun was already out, when you do 6K and start to buffer the quarter circle, press H when you're pressing down at the start of the quarter circle to put the gun away. Adding slight delays to anything is an easy way to catch mashing while giving yourself tons of plus frames giving strike throw at any point. And if they get hit by any of the strikes, it easily sets up a knockdown where you can regen some resources to do it again. 2-3 success is the scariest frame trap, but you'll learn about these better combos in the intermediate section. On top of doing dash 2k into 2k, doing dash into IED back JS is a kind of fast overhead that also avoids throw mashing. And after 2k or close slash, you can throw in a tap dust, just make sure to delay the shots so they don't get sent into the air. 2k and 5k into 6k do not combo and have a 5 frame gap on block, so for now at least, don't use this in pressure, only do it after close slash. 2-3 success being +3 on block is great and builds a lot of risk, so they won't want to block this more than they need to. 2k, 2d, 2-3 success is another way to do pressure, but if they FD, the 2-3 success will almost certainly whiff. An easy way to fight FD is to do 6s, 2-3 success into a shot. Same as before, put the gun away during the down input of the quarter circle for 2-3 success. This is a basic starting point for staying in against FD, but if they get hit, it'll be hard or impossible to combo from. You can also do shot into 6k, which will frame trap as long as you do the shot late enough, so you may prefer this one. If they FD the close slash series, doing dash up 5k dash cancel shot is a good way to stay in and loop the situation. You can still just do 2k shot dash 2k, but it'll be harder to enforce the throw since you'll have to run longer. And same goes for 2k 2d shot, you'll have even less plus frames to work with. Dash 6k loops well on block against FD2, just be careful with the timing on the shot since it's easier to get thrown or mashed out of this. As you do practice this, you'll get a feel for which sequences make more sense based on the distance. The standard high-low mix-up is to just dash jump, shoot a couple shots, then do a delayed air dash back JS, or nothing into land 2k. If you don't have focus already, this can be pretty expensive, so make sure to have the resources to do it when you want to go for it. If you jump past them, do air backdash JD instead of JS. Here's a quick sequence of how the situation could be set up. When jump canceling on block, jump forward or backdash JS won't reach, especially if they FD. When going for tap dust, FD will tend to push you out of the range unless you do very close range 2k into it. And always shoot the gun even if you think there's a chance the dust will whiff since it's likely tracked on them still. For steady aim guard crush shot, canceling into reload lets you get 2 bullets back and beat 5 frame mashes with good timing. And just reloading 1 bullet easily leaves you plus enough to catch any mashing. Super focus is a nice way to get all your focus back while staying plus in pressure. Canceling into it from close slash and 6k leaves you +2, and canceling it from 6s leaves you +5, so if you're gonna do it, it's much better to do it from 6s. If you have the bullet to spare, doing it from a guard crush shot that leaves you +24 and +18 from a regular steady aim shot. Close slash dash BRC close slash then reload lets you get back 3 bullets and frame trap with the 2p. Technically you could do close slash into focus, but it's just so much better to do super focus that you should never do this. On top of focusing on 2k shot into strike throw, make sure you really get down close slash 6k shot into dash close slash. Set them to mash to see if you can get it to true string and frame trap when you want. If they FD you out on that block string, you'll be out of even 2s range, so either spend a couple bullets or return to neutral depending on your resources. Canceling into reload on block is a greedy and unsafe way to get your resources back, but if you do it occasionally, it can be done, especially if they've shown respect. It's better when spaced out into 2-3 success into 2s than reload. Of course you can do it after steady aim shots like I mentioned, but you're spending one to get 1 or maybe 2 back. If you got a guard crush shot, it can be cancelled with 4s quickly and now make you up to +20 and set up an unmashable strike throw, but don't worry about it for now, just know that it's something you can do. Finally, the roll mix-up is one of his best mix-ups since it's so accessible. All you need to do is have the gun out, be close to them, and 214K while holding 5H, and release it once you're on the other side. There's a timing to it, especially if you want to make it unmashable, but hit the lab trying to get the timing for you to roll through and hit them, then combo with 2K 2D. You can push yourself to start to learn the timings to beat throw mash, but most people won't be mashing on it anyways. For combos, since managing resources will be the priority, make sure to confirm 2K 2D into focus or reload depending on what you need more. Generally, focus will be more important unless you're down to 2 or 3 bullets. Like I talked about in the pressure section, make sure to get the timing down on 2K into shot. After pressing 2K, hold down H and release it as close to the end of hit stun as you can. 2K shot into 2K may whiff because of the pushback, so make sure to fit in a dash 2K instead. Close slash 6K shot is the other main combo for now. Here I'm releasing the shot too early, so I don't have enough time to dash up and close slash again. It will just take practice to get the timing down, but you have more time than you think. Either end the combo by wall splatting or using 2D. From tap dust, make sure to delay the shot until they fall back to the ground so you can combo into 2K 2D. If you don't delay it, they'll just fly away. Also from the pressure section, 5k then dash plus 5h will be a good starting point for converting your quick poke. Just make sure to release 5h midway through the dash. You can combine this with 2k 2d shot to give an air combo and end with close slash 6s into getting some resources back. If you're near the wall, it's better to end with a steady aim shot. Another important starter is 2s into 2 shots while you dash up for 2k 2d. It's very easy to accidentally start shooting too early and drop the combo, so make sure to get this down. For JS, just make sure to do a shot after it hit to make sure you have more than enough time to easily combo or start pressure. If you have no bullets, 2k 2d 236s into 6s lets you get resources back. A little more advanced is to microdash close slash 6k 236s into 5k 6s. Make sure to put the gun away during the 236s input. On defense, when using 2p, convert with a shot into knockdown, then simply roll past them. Reloading once still leaves you plus enough to start pressure. If you wall splat with a shot, it gives enough time to do both focus and super. If you already have lots of resources, then you can just do curse instead. 2D knockdowns give you almost a full second to work with. It's so plus that you can do focus, dash up, and still be too early on the close slash. You can reload up to 4 bullets and still get a meaty close slash too. If you do 2k shot into the knockdown, you'll have less plus frames, but you can still easily get some resources in meaty. If you fit in 2k shot twice, you'll have a few less frames to work with, but the knockdown time doesn't change if you add any more hits. For throw, you can't get any resources and also get a meaty, but you can do OTG 2s and do curse to reset neutral. For a safe jump, slight walk back into IEDJ 2k is good. Another way to do it is dash jump with JK into falling JS. In the corner, you can just jump forward without the dash and still safe jump. I know this is already a lot to take in at once, so the goals before moving to the intermediate guide will be to have a good feel for how to use his normals, understand how the gun and concentration work, be able to 2k shot dash 2k while frame trapping when you want to, be able to put the gun away during the quarter circle of 236s, and have the basic combos down including close slash 6k shot and 5k dash cancel shot. Thank you for watching.